I have Will from Switched On. So thank you so much for giving me some of your time, man. And it looks like your video or most of the music from your album has kind of blown up on my channel. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for giving me some of your time.
of course. No problem.
Awesome, man. So what kind of gave you the inspiration for that album specifically when you were and just for everyone actually just before you've changed the name to Switched On. It's not Switched On SNES anymore, right? It's just Switched
Yeah,
On.
so it used to be Switched On SNES, and then I decided to change it after talking to a lawyer and just to be on the safe side. And I also figured that eventually I'd want to expand to other consoles. So I think it'd be kind of strange to have Switched On SNES Ocarina of Time, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I found you about a year and a half ago, and I absolutely love your stuff, man. I was just blown away by it. So I thought it would go really sick with a synthwave style, compilation art that I found, and so yeah, that's kind of that's kind of how I found you a little bit. But can you kind of give me a little bit of your inspiration for that album?
Well, I guess it kind of just started as a weekend hobby, and I was just kind of messing around playing a Zelda track on my new analog synth. And I've actually like done this my entire life since I was like 15, was play video game music on synthesizers. But or like do different covers of it, but I just never released anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially I spent 2 weeks making the first version of that Zelda soundtrack, and I just kind of put out online without really expecting anything, and it got on Reddit and it kind of blew up some. So I decided to make a cassette, and it just kept selling really well. And eventually a record label startup approached me about putting it out on vinyl, and so we did that, and it just sold out immediately. So I just decided to keep putting stuff out on vinyl, because I didn't really realize there was a whole like movement of video game vinyl collectors. It's pretty crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like a whole thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the first spark was Reddit itself.
Yeah, that's what kind of gave it some momentum.
And was it to your Bandcamp, or was it to? Is that kind of like, because that's the other kind of question I have is like, where do you feel like the most connection with your audience consistently?
Definitely in Bandcamp.
Really?
Yeah, Bandcamp kind of has a culture to it as well that I like. It's nice to be able to see people commenting on the, like, leaving reviews after they buy it, and just feels kind of like a down home place to host your music. I also have it on Spotify, but I don't really send many people there, although I'd like to. And then I do have a YouTube channel, and it's on other streaming platforms, but Bandcamp and Instagram are definitely the place that I use the most.
It's awesome. And where are you from? Are you from Austin?
From San Antonio, but I've been in Austin for like 15 years.
Oh wow. Nice. I'm from San Antonio too, man. That's really cool.
Nice.
Where are you from in San Antonio?
I'm from like Terrell Hills area, central San Antonio, northeast central. What about you?
Okay. I'm from NEISD, so 1604 and 2D1. I went to school in Smithson Valley. I don't know if you've ever heard of Smithson Valley High School.
Oh, yeah. So I grew up in Canyon Lake.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
My brothers went to Smithson Valley, I think.
That's
Right here.
awesome.
Yeah. You live in Austin though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I was like so psyched to hear that you live in Austin, and it's just nice that like there's somebody else that understands like the love for video game, not just video games, but kind of like the vibe, the community, and the aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
and also I you know I you wrote something in the description of the of that original album. Is it A Link to the Past? Is that the
Mm-hmm.
one? Okay, is that the album name? Um, and you wrote, you're basically like, it seemed like part of your mission is like to bring an awareness to this great music that's kind of like severely underrated
Yeah.
in Super Nintendo era, because they just, and I have that same love too, because like I'm making an Earthbound mix right now,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just so many. Like I just uploaded a Ken Griffey Jr. Winning Run. I don't know if you've ever heard that track at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
I think so.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. But I was like, I remember hearing it as a kid and how badass it was. It was like it had like the European techno
Mm-hmm.
feel to it, and I was like, this is crazy that it was done on a Super Nintendo or for Super Nintendo with the limitations they had. You know,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about
Especially the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack.
that? Mm-hmm.
They like did some crazy stuff with their hardware. Um, I don't know. The underwater song has like I don't know, they just had some like really complex process to be able to like cycle through waveforms of samples to like make that like ever evolving, pad sound on the aquatic track. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, Earthbound and Secret of Mana, they did a lot of sampling that turned out really cool.
Yeah, I've never played Secret of Mana, I probably will now that you. And I remember seeing the album for it and listening to it.
Dude, dope. It's definitely one of the best ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it an RPG?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like Earthbound and Final Fantasy in a way?
Yeah, it's most like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like Chrono Trigger is amazing. So Secret of Mana it's its own thing though, right? Like Secret of Mana is kind of like its own thing, its own stories. Does it have prequels or sequels?
They put out they put out a sequel, but they just redid it for Switch called Trials of Mana.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's the third one of the series. But if you like Chrono Trigger, you'd definitely like it.
Yeah, I definitely like Chrono Trigger. What's the process, man, to doing to actually building like that album, or to building A Link to the Past? Like, what does that process look like?
First, I have to go through and figure out what songs I want to cover. Usually I pick the ones that I think will translate best into synthesizer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of form a track listing. And before I start covering it, I have to go make sure that I'm able to clear it to legally cover it. So essentially you have to pay like 10 cents per song per album to cover a Nintendo track. And so you pay a big bulk amount of money. And then I'll go through, and most of the music I definitely like know by heart, but then I'll like download the MIDI and kind of like look at it and figure out how to play it for the most part. And sometimes I'll sequence parts that are that are like crazy hard to do. And then I'll just I'll record onto this Prophet analog synth right there. And then sometimes I use this like poly Moog that I have, the Behringer Moog.
That's dope. Oh
and
man,
yeah, running through tape machines, tape echoes, and then I'll put on vinyl.
that's awesome. So you do you think you'll always stick with vinyl for the time being?
Yeah, I mean, I do everything, but vinyl definitely is the most fun.
What's fun about about building the vinyl process?
It's cool to design like large album art that you just have in your hand, you know, and you can like look at it up close.
Hmm.
Um, and just the whole package of the vinyl, choosing the colors, just feels really exciting to me. And for the album covers, I usually make them out of construction paper. And so if you look up really close on the vinyl, you can see like the really high detail, and you can see like the glue marks and all that stuff.
Wait, so you actually make each one, or in some capacity?
I'll make the cover with construction paper, and then I'll scan it in, and that's the what they print.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool, man. So, and one of your one of the synths were was did you say a Moog or?
The main one I use is a Sequential Circuits Prophet 600.
Mm-hmm.
Just a 4-voice pure analog synth, and then the other one is the Behringer Moog clone, Model D clone, and I strung 6 of them up together so I could play like 6 notes at a time.
Damn, that's crazy. um, what do you think about? Because I have a what's an Akai, like a pretty big Akai board, or it's just a MIDI board. But what do you think about like the virtual synths and the hardware synth? You know, do you
I
think?
use them both
Yeah.
all the time. For this project, I typically always use the hardware, but on my I put out an album called Lost Levels, which are my compositions, and I definitely use some Arturia analog synth software.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
And well, what do you think is going to be like the future for Switched On right now? Because like I think I saw on your Instagram you were touring, which was really cool. But were you touring recently or?
No, I play in a couple different bands, so I was probably just Instagramming being on the tour of the other band that I was on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Which other band are you in?
My main band is called Sleep Good, which is my own personal music, kind of like 60s Beach Boys, Beatles,
Oh,
pop.
wow. That's
And
cool.
then the main band that I tour with sometimes is called RF Shannon. He's one of my buddies here in town. I play bass for him and sing.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so you tour with those guys? Like they have
Yeah,
a tour
periodic,
date?
like once a year usually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what Sleep Good is the name of your personal brand?
Yeah.
Do you think is Switched On? Which one's more popular, Switched On or Sleep Good?
Switched On, definitely people buy more vinyl. Sleep Good we've gotten like close to 700,000 Spotify plays, but
That's
Switched
awesome.
On's not really like getting traction on Spotify, so it's kind of like hard to tell. But
That is crazy.
probably Switched On, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like actual. Well, I guess in the vinyl, people selling out the vinyl. I mean, that's really good. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. I just bought a vinyl lathe, so I'll be able to make my own personal like one-off vinyls, like an edition of 10 vinyls.
Okay.
Yeah, which is cool. It probably won't get in until December or something, but yeah, I'll probably put out like a soundtrack in a really limited fashion and then screen print my own record sleeves and stuff like that.
Damn, that's awesome, man. So like super limited edition kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And because like Sleep It, I also have my a band as well. It's called Dream Drivers, and it's like, you know, psychedelic rock, but has like a lot of 70s influence and whatnot, some 60s influence. So because when you said Beach Boys, it's like I really want to listen to it right now just to hear what it sounds like. But what's one of your favorite Beach Boys albums that you draw inspiration from?
Smile and Pet Sounds.
Yeah, Pet Sounds.
Yeah, we don't sound like the early Beach Boys. It's more like the later psychedelic. It's definitely a very psychedelic heavy band.
Oh yeah, man.
But not like hard rock. It's more like chilled out psychedelic.
Would you agree that Pet Sounds is, I know this may sound crazy, but I just feel like Beach Boys in general are really underrated. I feel like the Beatles have kind of overshadowed them, even though in that time they were like neck and neck. But over time, the Beatles have just kind of, you know, stayed relevant, where the Beach Boys are still kind of relevant, but they need to have like another look, because I feel like they have so much of a well to draw from, especially when you re-listen to Pet Sounds. It's like, it's unbelievable. I mean,
it's hard to like comprehend what's going on.
Yeah.
I think Beach Boys are really underrated. I mean, back in the day in the 60s, people even thought they're like really lame. You know, I was reading articles just talking about how like unhip they are and how square they are and blah blah blah. And I feel like when they put out Pet Sounds and like Smile and stuff like that, they didn't really put out Smile, but when they started putting out stuff like that, it kind of flopped. I think Good Vibration was a really big hit, but like, yeah, I think people are kind of just now really picking up on how amazing they are.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, it's kind of like a lot of things. It's like people are able to take a second look at things like the Super Nintendo soundtracks, but but like people like you are kind of beefing it up and modernizing it, and also your own take on it and its own flavor, that people can kind of really have a new understanding of it, you know?
Yeah.
Are you touring with Sleep Good?
No. We almost had a tour last summer, but it fell through. Now with the virus, I don't think any band's gonna be touring for like a year.
Yeah, I know. Man, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm excited to listen to it, man. I'm always down to listen to anything that was, inspired by that kind of style. I think that's really cool. Have you? Well, I'm sure you played Earthbound, but what would you ever consider, like, is this doing like an Earthbound inspired soundtrack at some point?
I'm right now working on Switched On Earthbound.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some of my favorite tracks licensed from it, but the problem is that they haven't been released before, and so they might not be licensable. One of them is like the coffee music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably one of my favorite ones, and I might not even be able to put on the album. The other one is the Skyrunner theme.
Okay.
You know, when he's like flying through the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
Nintendo,
cool.
I think, was sued by The Who because they thought that song was a ripoff. So because of that, they'd never put it out on the soundtrack, and so I might not be able to cover that one either, which is one of my other favorite ones.
Oh, man. Damn, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
But, well, if it's not licensable, then would it even show up in copyright on YouTube?
I don't know, but I can't take chances with anything, especially pressing vinyl without having it cleared.
No. No, I just meant like maybe like for free if you
Oh,
had the like a leftover if you had the time kind of thing, and it wasn't you weren't selling it, you were just kind of
yeah.
putting it
I
out.
mean, the problem is even if you do it for free, it could still be illegal.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I most likely am going to cover them and then get them out somehow.
dude, I'm excited, man. I've been dying for somebody to. That's so serendipitous too, because I'm making a Earthbound mix right now,
Yeah,
and and there's to me there isn't really that many good ones out there at all,
yeah.
like songs or remixes or lo-fi whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um so like so is it the same process with Earthbound, like you kind of like pick the things you want to do, or is there anything different from your previous projects with Earthbound, or is it kind of the same process?
Earthbound has a lot of like really almost atonal sounds and like crazy sounds that I'm gonna have to be more creative with, because a lot of it like isn't really the notes that they're playing Earthbound. It's like that, just the sounds itself, So it'll be interesting to do that. The other thing is there's so many tracks that I want to cover. I'm probably gonna have to put out a double vinyl.
Oh yes, I love hearing that, man. That is so cool.
And for like Chrono Trigger, I mean, there's like 100 pieces of music that people probably would want me to cover. So I don't even know how to do that. Triple
Yeah,
vinyl, maybe? I don't know.
I,
Crazy.
I I'm excited for Earthbound, man. Because I just finished it because I was never able to. I didn't really ever finish it. I loved it when I was a kid. I just couldn't get past some points and then I just kind of did something else. But
Yeah.
I find but I got that little small Super Nintendo thing. Um,
The classic.
yeah, the my girlfriend got it for me for Christmas, and I was able to finish it like in January this year,
Hmm.
and it was so fucking awesome. It was way better than I anticipated all the way through. I'm sure you played it all the way. Have you played it all the way through
Yeah.
and everything?
Earthbound is probably my favorite game.
Really?
Yeah, I've played it a lot.
Dude, that is so cool to hear, man, because I feel like again, not to sound like a broken record, but I feel like it's still super super underrated. I mean,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah,
Big time.
there's no other games like it. It's crazy, and I love
Yep.
how trippy it is.
Yeah, it's so trippy, man. I don't even think I actually got to a coffee break when I was younger, and then
uh,
when it happened, I was like, whoa, like did something happen to the game, or I was like, what is going on?
yeah,
And and it was so trippy and beautiful. And then it's really cool how I've never seen a game try really hard to actually like inspire you beyond the game. You know
hmm
what I mean?
hmm
Uh, but it gives you like actual, philosophical um, pointers to kind of cope with life and grief and
yeah,
death and everything.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. What do you like? What was some of your favorite moments from the game?
Um, I like when it gets really fantasy based, like Saturn Valley is really cool, or with the pink cloud art,
Oh yeah.
like the underworld dinosaur stuff. Yeah, I mean that whole game is amazing.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes.
the music and the sounds and the backgrounds and stuff are really cool. I love the hospital music.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when you heal somebody or when you heal or bring one of your friends back to life, like that was just like a beautiful sound, and it kind of like just made you, it just made you feel really good. Um, and when I reached the dinosaur, like that was crazy. Like you're super small,
Yeah.
and then like these huge ass dinosaurs everywhere.
Hmm.
That was cool, man.
Crazy they have a lot of like Beatles references and stuff.
Oh yeah, I did see a couple. The Yesterday reference.
Hmm. They even sampled Yellow Submarine for the Dungeon Man part.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they did they have any copyright issues with that, you think?
I think maybe. And there actually is a Yellow Submarine in that also.
Oh,
You ride around in it.
in the oh, that's right, yeah, yeah, and it was in the belly of the dude that
Mhm.
you, I forgot his name. He's a stone guy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah, that was crazy. Um, who was who was like your go-to person, or what was like your process? I don't know if you can, like, what was like your process whenever you're battling somebody, or like later on in the game when it's actually hard, or like really really hard. Um, who would you like go to first to kind of like, what would be like your setup? You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't really remember exactly. I think I always use a lot of the PSI. Get really into that the most probably, and Pooh maybe.
Yeah, Pooh was really cool, man. Pooh was really cool. Yeah, and then the time where Pooh's actually like, I think where you meet him for the first time, and he's like doing like a meditation, you know, and you have to break your legs, you have to break your
Yeah,
arm, and take your eyes out and everything.
crazy.
Yeah, that's wicked, man.
Then in summers, you eat like a magic uh, cake thing and like trip out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, is Summers the the part where you also
It's a beach.
oh, okay, no, yeah, that's right, yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool, dude. There's so many moments in that game where they're just uh where it's just unbelievable, like you know, when Sally prays, when you have to pray at the very end when you're fighting him.
Hmm.
That was really cool to figure out. And it's like you should have to continuously pray and
Yeah.
continuously pray, and that's the only thing that will actually, you know, hopefully, like, that doesn't spoil it for anybody. I didn't mean to, but but I feel like it's pretty common knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, so you have Earthbound coming out, which I'm super excited about. Like, what do you see for Switched On, um, like in the future? Like, do you have like a plan set out, or are you kind of just going with the flow? What are your thoughts?
I think the next one I'm going to put out is F-Zero. And
Oh,
then from
nice.
there, I'm going to do Earthbound. And I think I'm going to try to get through most of the major Super Nintendo games. And then I'll probably do like Ocarina of Time or something and start branching out.
Oh, nice, man. So do you think you would do like Donkey Kong?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I saw on your Instagram that you also had a letter from J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is cool.
Yeah, that was for, well, I started in like a guitar effects company with my brother, and J.J. Abrams bought one of our guitar sustainers. It's called a Soundstone. And I noticed his name on the packaging, and it said his production company after I looked it up. And so I sent him a little package with Switched On SNES cassette tapes. Then he wrote that letter back.
Nice, dude. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Do you still work with your brother in that company?
Yeah, it started in November, so it's slowly kind of like taking over my my normal job, which is composing for commercials and movies.
Damn, man, you're doing everything. That is awesome. It's like, I mean, it's, um, uh, I think, yeah, it's so cool. You have like multiple bands, and then you have, you know, different projects, and then I didn't
Yeah,
even ask you about your normal day job, so that's
yeah,
pretty badass.
yeah. That's why it's hard for me to find time to work on Switched On more. That's why I've only put out like 2, 3 albums in the past
2 years. No, still, they're badass. So it's, it's, I got you.
Yeah.
So what's your day job is it a job or are you more like a freelancer?
I'm a freelancer.
Oh,
I started a company called High Tide Post.
You what?
Started a company called High Tide Post, and I do sound design and composing or whatever, mostly commercials and movies, feature films.
That's awesome. What are some feature films that you've worked with?
I worked with that art house director, Terrence Malick. Have you heard of him? He did a Tree of Life and Badlands and
yeah.
Yeah. So I worked with him for 4 years doing sound design. And then that was right out of college. And then after that, I started the company. And the movies are typically documentaries and just smaller, like smaller features out of LA and stuff like that. But I'd say most of my work is in commercials. But I have an IMDb if you want to look it up.
Sure. Yeah, man. I'd definitely love to look it up. It's awesome. My brother's an engineer, man. So it's like, I'm sure he would love to, whenever this all kind of calms down a little bit, yeah, it would be great to like hang out and, grab a beer or something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff that we could work on. And so, like, when you say sound design, is it also Foley along with that? Oh, wow, doing that too?
Yeah. Essentially, like, they'll give me the cut of the movie with the onboard audio, which is usually really bad, and you delete everything and you recreate the sound of the ambience, the atmospheres. You add in all new footsteps and touching paper, all that stuff. And then you clean up the dialogue and then send it off to a mixer.
Okay, dude, that's cool. Yeah. What's like some of your favorite movies that you feel like have done a really cool job for sound design?
I think The Conversation is definitely one of the coolest ones. It was like the sound designer of that film kind of created the entire industry and just making subjective sound design, implying things in the story through sound, which is really cool. I mean, movies like the original Star Wars are really cool. They made the laser sounds by like hitting a long piece of wire, like wire fence, and it makes that laser gun sound. And the lightsabers, they had cathode ray tubes that they like plugged in and waved it by a microphone and it creates the lightsaber sound.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not really a huge movie buff. I mostly got into it because I'm into music and just anything sound related, recording. So.
And is that what you went to school for?
Yeah.
Nice. That's
awesome.
UT. Oh, you went to UT Austin?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. And how did you meet the gentleman from Badlands?
I made a tape loop installation in one of my classes, and one of the professors saw it and recommended me to intern with him. And so I interned for a year, and then he hired me on until I quit, which is like 4 years in.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's crazy. I was working like 60 hours a day, 6 days a week.
What?
Really? So like my 21 to like 24, 25 years old was just kind of like gone. But in a good way. I learned a lot.
That is, well, yeah, I mean, that sounds like the Navy SEALs for sound design.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, But I gotcha. I mean, was it like a cool parting? Like you guys are cool kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, he's really nice. He can be intense at times, but he's super nice and definitely understanding. He knew that I had to go play in bands and tour and stuff like that.
Right on. Who are some of your favorite like bands right now that you dig or that you would like to work with?
Like current bands.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably my favorite are Michael Now and Cass McCombs and Cutworms.
Cutworms.
Mm-hmm. They're all relatively small, but they're like amazing, all of them.
Okay, so it was Cutworms. It was what else?
Michael Now,
Uh-huh.
Michael Nau, who also used to go under the name Cotton Jones, and then Cass McCombs.
And Cass McCombs. Okay. And what kind of what kind of style is it?
They're all just kind of like honest songwriting, but usually pretty psychedelic. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Dude, what do you think of Tame Impala's new album?
I think it's pretty good. I've only listened to like twice so far, but I mean, I'm definitely a huge Tame Impala fan.
Me too.
I kind of like a little more of their psychedelic stuff though.
Yeah, I'm a part of that Tame Impala group or whatever. This is actually where I met my girlfriend, which is pretty funny, on that Facebook group for Tame Impala.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and um, there's like a huge divide between old fans or whatever, classic fans, and then the new fans. Basically, anything after current, are the new fans. And I mean, I'm definitely an OG. I've known him since Inner Speaker and a little bit before. And Brandon, my brother, knows him even further back than that. Which I forgot the name of the other band that he was in before, but I definitely like Lonerism. I feel like Lonerism is like the pinnacle right now.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard an album that has stuck with me or has been as cathartic in that space other than Lonerism. But what do you think? I mean, like,
I'm in the same boat.
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not as much into 80s sounding or like disco-y sounding stuff, although if that came on the radio, I'd like it infinitely more than anything else that's coming on. But compared to Lonerism, that those songs hit me a lot harder for whatever reason.
Do you think that rock is dead, or do you think it's just hibernating?
I think it kind of seems like Tame Impala brought it back to an extent. Definitely seemed more dead before that, but
yeah,
I think that like rock, like a kind of cock rock or like aggressive rock is probably not going to do that well.
yeah.
But everything is honestly just so like splintered that it's just hard to say. I mean, I find bands on Spotify that I've never heard of that have like 10 million monthly listeners, and there's like 1,000 of those. So everybody has their own like little niches. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is really cool. What was inspiration? I see. Is that one of your albums on your shirt?
This is a shirt I made, but it's in the same like artwork style. So essentially, when I was making the art for Zelda or Secret of Mana, I'll just make like 10 different pieces of art, and this is one of those that I just didn't choose for the album art. So I kind of used it just as a practice for screen printing, multiple colors.
Cool. What was some of the inspiration for that art style?
It's just kind of the art style that I like. Like if I were to put art on my wall, I typically like 70s, 60s, 70s style serigraphs, which are usually like geometric, kind of bold, simplistic designs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely. Do you like that show Mad Men or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like a lot of that kind of art style around that time,
Yeah.
especially with like those geometrical minimalism patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and do you think you would be touring with Switched On like after a year or whatever? Do you think you would ever get to that point?
I thought about it. It's kind of just whether or not I'm able to get my friends to learn the songs and and do it. Definitely, it seems like there's some people have asked me to go on tour in their towns, so it's not off the table. I don't have any plans though right now.
I just feel like that'd be pretty exciting to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I really
That's
do love
awesome.
being in my studio though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It, um, are you working on any new albums for your personal band?
I'm kind of just making demos and messing around in the studio, but it seems like I'm probably a year away from being able to put something out.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And then with your like, do you? Because like I sometimes I have a lot of stuff going on too, and sometimes I feel like um, if I could just I feel like there's like a dichotomy of thinking for me. It's like I have so many projects going on that I kind of feel like my effort is getting diluted from time to time.
Yeah.
But I love a lot of things so much that I have like super hard trouble. If somebody put a gun to my head and said like you can only do one project,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would choose.
Yeah.
But do you feel like at some point you would ever actually consolidate and just say, I've done what I can with these. I'm just going to do this from now on, or are you going to keep doing?
I don't think I could do that.
No.
I mean, I'll go just on a random like 3-month streak where I just pretty much mess around with screen printing, and then I'll randomly go on a streak where I'll do switched on recordings, and I being able to bounce around between different things kind of helps me stay fresh constantly, not get burnt out.
Yeah, you kind of like switching the priorities for each thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's like my main business is like a web design business that I do with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's always a higher priority than most because it's what pays the bills, right? But like ever since, like sometimes whenever I see something that will either spark my interest or it's the same thing basically, because like with WLLF, that video that popped off,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm very excited about, and I'm glad, hoping for you that you got some customers from it, because I have gotten at least 50 comments that have said like, where do I buy this, and
Nice.
or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
definitely gotten some sales.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, because I remember I sent it to you, and it was like, I said, almost at 100K, because I think it was at 90, and I think by the time you saw it, it was above 100.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really, really cool.
What do you think caused that?
Oh man, I think the YouTube gods, I would say.
Is it just recommending it to people?
Yeah, well, I know I don't know what caused it, but I know what is, pushing it is. It's the YouTube browse recommended. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just put it in the related videos.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what actually caused it, but it's happened. Huh?
Did it get posted on Reddit?
That's what I was thinking too, but I'm gonna have to go back and look to see if I can find like the OG original kind of viral sprout.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of times it is Reddit, and Reddit will just like blow it up, like crazy. But I don't think it was that this time, because sometimes it's just the YouTube algorithm just decides, or based off of cues, it'll just kind of test and like show people
Uh-huh.
it, and then it'll just go like crazy, you know, because I've
Dude,
been getting.
I had a thing a year ago that went viral um, on Reddit. Have you ever seen I did a thing that where I took "Smells Like Teen Spirit," the Nirvana song, and made it into like a major key song. It made it like it kind of sounds like a Disney song, and it went viral on Reddit. And then I started getting phone calls from reporters in Seattle and stuff. It's played on the radio. It's crazy. Got like millions
What?
of plays in a couple weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's really funny.
What is it called?
It's called Nirvana Teen Sprite. Or you just look up Nirvana major key and it'll be the thing that'll pop up.
Is it from Switched On?
No.
Is it from? What moniker did you use?
Nirvana.
Oh, Nirvana.
Yeah.
So is that like another band or?
No, it's just kind of like a thing I made in a couple hours and I put on the internet and popped up. Like I did an interview on the Texas Standard on NPR about it. It's pretty crazy.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, so I had the stems for Teen Spirit, and so I deleted everything but the vocals and the drums, and then I just created new chords around it and turned it into a new song.
That's crazy. And it got it got millions of plays.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. But you didn't think to like try to ride that wave a little longer or do something with it, or?
I mean, I don't know what I could have done besides linking to my music, you know. And I honestly don't know the legality of it too.
What did the reporters ask you?
They just wanted to tell me how funny it was and how it was like the TV station that got Nirvana big. Or they interviewed the DJ who got Nirvana big and showed it to him and just stuff like that.
That's wild, man. What do you think causes viralness?
I feel like if you post something and then within a very if it starts getting a lot of engagement immediately after, then or just at any given point or like all around the world at a given point, I feel like it puts it into some sort of algorithm and then spreads.
Yes, but it's like there's also like your video, like the synthwave video,
mm-hmm.
that was like a year later it went viral. You know, so it's like a
did that gradually start like
no
grow, or that's why I think maybe it was posted somewhere.
It may have, yeah, it definitely may have. But even if it, I'm sorry,
or maybe another channel played it. I don't know.
Sure, yeah, I'm open. Yeah, exactly. I'll definitely analyze it more. I've been analyzing the trajectory, like a rocket ship, though. It's pretty wild, and because I've had that happen like a couple of times, and I'm always trying to hit that. And now, whenever I see that happen, well, basically, like it's this time I try, because like the last time I wasn't as educated enough when it happened. I just kind of was like, wow. And then this time I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to be strategic. I'm going to put content out like every single day to see if I can like keep it at a threshold. You know what I mean? Because my trajectory and just that video is bringing in so many subscribers, so many views, and even customers to you, which is badass. And I was like, if I could just, because I can already see the peak and it's kind of going like this. And I was like, if I could just kind of keep it level at this intensity, then I could grow a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I did put something out like what's called a Star Fox Synthwave, which was pretty funny. I don't know if you should check that out. That video, it's hilarious, but it's also like really beautiful at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Nice. What
And it
program
actually,
do you make the visuals?
I didn't make the visuals. I didn't make the visuals. I'm really just a DJ and a visual guy who brings things together using Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody that because a lot of people think that I either make the music or I make the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I always tell them, I'm like, no, I'm really just a DJ, and I just kind of bring concepts together and see if people like it.
Yeah.
That's really all I do.
You should check out this software. I used it for I made Secret of Mana soundtrack into a video album, and it's essentially the same. It's a replica of the software that they use for like when you start up a VHS, and it has those like video logos, with pretty vaporwave, synthwave looking stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can easily make cool stuff with that program called Cathodimer.
What is it called?
I'll send it to you. I think it's called like Cathodimer or something like that. It's on Steam.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see it, man. I'd love to see it and use it. That'd be cool. Because I do play guitar. I don't know. You probably saw from my channel or from my Instagram that it's like I do play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I am trying to, like, that's another big thing that I'm trying to have a huge focus on. Is like trying to get next level guitar, you know what I mean? Do you play guitar or like in your band, do you play everything or like, how does that work?
For my music, I play everything on the recordings, and then I have a band that we play live. But guitar was my main instrument, probably guitar and piano.
Have you ever heard of Ludwig? It's kind of crazy, his trajectory, and it's kind of similar to yours too. I can kind of see it, where he's worked for Childish Gambino, and he helped him produce a lot of his songs. He helped him produce Redbone, but he was also like a sound engineer and a sound designer he would like compose music for feature films.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that guy?
What's his last name?
It's like Ludwig Göransson or something. Or
I don't think so. Check him out.
Yeah, you should check him out, man, because I don't know, I feel like you have a lot in common with him. But he kept grinding and grinding, and then obviously he got Childish Gambino, which was dope.
Yeah.
But then he kind of evolved into major feature films, and then also he just made the soundtrack to the new Star Wars, not the Boba Fett, but I forgot the name of that new one on the Disney Channel.
Oh yeah. Blanking too. The Mandalorian.
Yes, the Mandalorian. Yes. Which I thought was a badass soundtrack. I really like the theme of that.
That's dope.
Yeah, you should check him out, man. He's really cool. Yeah. So, and what was the name of your personal brand again? Personal band?
Sleep Good.
Sleep Good.
Yeah.
And what was the name of your website for your main business?
HighTidePost.com.
High Tide Post.
And then my guitar effect thing is called Soundstone.co. I'll send you a free one.
Dude, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Soundstone. That's a beautiful name.
Actually, an Earthbound reference.
Really? Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome. Does your brother like Earthbound too?
Yeah, he does. Let me grab a box real quick.
Oh wow.
It's like a holographic. So pretty much it's this box that you put on the strings of your guitar and it'll sustain them forever.
Whoa.
The magnets. Yeah.
Oh damn, that's crazy. So that's like just an accessory?
Mm-hmm.
But it also, you guys make pedals as well?
That's our only product right now.
Oh, okay. So that, but are you going to make pedals too?
Hopefully. We have a prototype for a new instrument that's kind of like a hybrid pedal steel synthesizer that we're going to try to build.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that sounds dope as hell. Um, I love that it's Soundstone, man. Now that with the Earthbound reference, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, that is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Um, what was why did you guys decide to do that, or did you just come up with the invention, or like how did that company come about?
So I pretty much my brother is like a genius engineer type guy. I paid him to build a prototype for this instrument that I came up with, um, which is like a pedal steel, but it has sustainers, so the strings just constantly go, and then has filter knobs, so it sounds like a synthesizer.
Whoa.
Um, so in order to make that, he had to figure out how to make sustainer technology, and he like kind of stumbled upon a really easy way to make it. Um, so we decided to file for a patent and make them, and we sell them for $35 when they're usually like $100.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so do you just put it on the guitar? Where do you place it on the guitar?
Um, just like over the pickup. I think I can show you real quick. So it'll work on acoustic or electric, but
Wow. Oh, acoustic. That's cool.
yeah.
Wow, dude, that is wicked. I love it, man. That is the coolest thing. So,
Yeah.
so you'd use it almost like how you would use a slide for your left hand in a way.
It's more where you're picking with your right hand. So instead of picking,
Right?
you
No, I was saying like it, but it's inverted. Like kind of you use your right hand to kind of do the manipulation instead of your left.
yeah, pretty much. It's like an electronic bow, instead of
Oh, dude, I love that. That
yeah.
is so cool. I'm definitely going to well, no, did you say you would send one to me?
I'll send you one.
Okay. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a couple of videos with it because I was like, dude, I already kind of think of some ideas I can do with that on video.
Yeah.
Uh, I was actually gonna probably make a like a Earthbound guitar lo-fi thing because I was like that's the only way I could really make anything. I'm not very good with synths or DAWs. It kind of just makes my eyes bleed, to be honest. I just really love like guitar and piano and drums, but mostly guitar.
Hmm.
And I can make like, cause like there's guitar lo-fi and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like, what if I use that with like, I use a Soundstone with that to make a Earthbound lo-fi
Yeah.
song.
Cool.
I feel like that fully completes the
Yeah.
circle. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can use it to make your guitar sound like a synth too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, just because it's kind of like a constant sound, and if you play it through an electric guitar, um, and then you layer it, it can sound like a synthy organ.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Like yeah, because I have a Big Sky, and I was thinking of what the Big Sky can do
Yeah. Those are cool.
with that with the
Yeah.
Soundstone.
Yeah.
Um, and Soundstone isn't trademarked.
We trademarked it.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that's what oh, that's cool. It wasn't trademarked before. You
No,
guys.
I mean, it's not. Trademarks are in certain classes, so like that's why you could have ABC plumbing, and then you have like ABC accountants, and can't sue each other.
Got you.
But Nintendo also didn't trademark an item in their game. It'd be ridiculous.
Dude, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I
know. Yeah, because that's kind of what, that kind of what, because like even my channel, the lo-fi channel, it's like I'm directly getting strikes every single time. Like I post something. It's not a hard strike. It's like you can't advertise strike, and that's fine. That's because like any
might be from me.
Huh?
Might be from me.
Oh,
like when I signed up for distribution, I think that it probably scans YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah. So you would be getting money from, you should be getting money from my video, but that's okay. Like I'm fine with that. I mean, it's like, it's not my music. I'm really just a DJ. So eventually, like, I want to sell T-shirts. I want to sell, like the brand more than anything, because there's some really big, lo-fi channels that do make a lot of money.
Lo-fi hip hop and chill or whatever, lo-fi beats in the rain, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just for a Soundstone post, I made a lo-fi version of Eric Satie. He's like have you ever heard of him? He's a classical musician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you look up Satie and chill under Soundstone, I made like a lo-fi Eric Satie cover with the Soundstone.
Satie and chill. I'm just writing it down.
Yeah.
Satie and chill.
I thought it was funny to take like a classical piano song and turn it into a lo-fi thing.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And is this your studio where you do everything in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where in Austin do you reside?
I'm in University Hills, Windsor Park area. It's kind of like northeast.
Northeast, okay.
But in between the highways. So just north of Mueller, HEB area.
Okay.
Springdale and Manor.
I feel like that's super close to where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like off of Anderson and Mueller. So Research Boulevard and Anderson and Mueller. I'm like 10 minutes away from the Domain, that kind of thing. What's up?
I'm probably just south of you.
Okay. Yeah, pretty close. But yeah, it's like, let me give the exact coordinates to everyone that watches, just in case they wanted to. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's awesome, man. Because like, I don't know, how have you been feeling with this whole quarantine thing, man? Like, because I know that I feel like we both probably work a lot from home already, so it wasn't like that much of a change in many ways. But it still like sucks to not, like, I really would like to just go to my favorite bars or restaurants.
Yeah.
Because I love Austin. So how have you been feeling about it?
I mean, the daily part isn't that much different for me, but I'm a really social person, so not seeing my friends is kind of messing with me.
Yes, dude. Absolutely. And did you say that you just kind of got like an antibody test or whatever?
Yeah, because I'm about to see my family, so everybody got antibody tests just to kind of like make sure we don't. It doesn't necessarily tell you if you have it, but if you do test positive for one of the antibodies, it pretty much shows that you do have it. So
gotcha. Did the results I'm
negative.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Negative. Nice. Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'm glad that you're like taking precautions before you see your family and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you live with your brother?
No.
Okay, cool. So is it just you?
I live with one of my old friends and my girlfriend.
Oh, right on. Right on, man. um, did you, so you went to school in UT Austin,
Hmm.
and then did you go from, like, as soon as you graduated high school in San Antonio, did you move over, or went straight to UT Austin?
I was in I guess my junior year, I got asked to join my favorite band at the time, which were in Austin,
Whoa.
and they're on Capitol Records. So I was able to, I graduated early and then moved up to Austin, started touring with them. And
Dude, that's crazy.
then Capitol merged with like Universal or something and dropped half their artists. So our band got dropped, and I went to UT. 18 or 19.
Damn it.
Yeah.
What was the name of the band?
Sound Team.
And they were your favorite band?
Yeah, one of them. Based in Austin.
Sound Team?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they still doing their thing?
No.
Okay.
We broke up a while ago.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I just want to say thank you for giving me some of your time and letting me, interview you and ask you all the questions about Switched On and stuff. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I just broke up again. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say thank you for all that. And I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're very busy.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, whenever this is all over, or closer to that, it'd be dope to grab a beer or something, because it's not every day you meet somebody like with so many of similar cool entrepreneur projects, in the same city. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. Send over your address because I'm about to ship these out. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, man. All right. Well, and don't worry, I'll cut some of that out. So no worries.
Cool.
All right, man. All right. Well, you have an amazing weekend, man. It was really great to meet you, and hope to see you soon.
You too, man. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.